All right, so my name is Wayne Jervis. Let me just press, yep. My name is Wayne Jervis. I am a senior pre-sales engineer for Unitrends, and I've been in the industry close to 30 years, to be honest with you. 20 years is a bit old. I've been here in the industry since 1990. I've worked for Nortel Networks. I've worked for Pitney Bowes Finance. I've worked for Veritas and Symantec for 10 years. So, and I've been with Unitrends slash Spanning for 6.5 years. So to move on, what I'm going to really talk about in this session is really how we actually protect data. And listening to the last presenter is really interesting. I just caught the last 5 minutes of that presentation. And it's very philosophical as well in many ways. And I do think we enjoy computing because it's an abstraction of the real world, and it also allows us to understand ourselves a little bit better and the world a bit better as well. But at the heart of security is data protection. We're the last line of defense, and that's what we do. So Spanning and Unitrends protect your data, be it on-premise or in the cloud. And we're part of Kaseya as well. Kaseya is a larger organization that provides lots of products that relate to security, and we're providing an end-to-end experience for our customers as well. So in this session, we're going to talk about, obviously, some of the challenges that relate to backup and essentially ransomware. We're going to also talk about some basic misunderstandings around Office 365, Google Workspace, or SaaS platforms as a whole. And we're going to discuss how we can use on-premise backups to better secure yourself in terms of giving you the capability to test your backups from a recovery perspective, so you know you've got good backups to recover from. And at the end, everything ties together into UniView. So the first thing is Spanning. As a company, has been around for 10 years. We've got over 10,000 customers. The interesting point is that EMC/Dell used to own this company. We purchased it off them, and it's a SaaS-based company that focuses on Office 365, Google Workspace, and Salesforce. So you can see the numbers there. We've been around for a while. We're protecting a lot of data. In relation to Unitrends, this company is just a little bit younger than me, but born in 1989. We were pretty much one of the first appliance-based companies out there, basically providing data protection in an all-in-one experience. So the hardware, the software, everything is integrated, and that's what we brought to the market. I worked for Veritas and Symantec, which was one of the largest companies with data protection for 10 years. They only brought an appliance to market in 2007. And we've been delivering appliances very early, the first in the market. We've got our own cloud as well, which is really important because everybody's talking about immutable storage, immutable protection, the ability to store your data on a separate network which is inaccessible from hackers. So we have our own cloud, which makes us unique because we can provide an end-to-end experience as well. And you'll see that in the slides, one or two of the slides we will show later on. Now, I don't need to talk about ransomware. The guy covered ransomware in detail. But what we do know is employees are under attack. Phishing attacks are the main vector of entry. So you need a solution out there that's going to basically help you or eliminate the risks associated with phishing attacks. We know for a fact that ransomware goes undetected as well. And in a backup context, if you're backing up ransomware and you're not able to detect it in the backup solution, when it comes to recovery, you're going to be recovering your systems with ransomware already in the system. So you need to know if you've got clean backups. Yeah? So you need the ability to, for one, have a system that's going to be able to spin up your backups, test for malware, certify that that backup is good for recovery. So when it comes to recovery, you know which backups are good for recovery. So it reduces or streamlines the recovery time from ransomware. We know backups are under attack. Again, there's, obviously software as a service. There's ransomware as a service. So ransomware is available to, the average script kiddie who wants to attack companies just for the sake of it. It's not a component now that needs an individual with a high technical background. You can consume this as a service, and that makes it more of a risk to companies because it is essentially a service which basically is going to attack your backups as well. The other point I'm going to quickly make as well is that a lot of backup products out there are based on Windows. And Windows is the low-hanging fruit for ransomware. So you should also have a system where your data protection solution is using a different operating system, if possible, from your production systems. Okay? Backups are fragmented. This is another challenge in relation to ransomware as well, because if you're building your own backup solution, which basically means you're installing some software on a host, you're buying storage, you're adding complexity, and you're adding a overhead in the management of that solution. So there's a cost associated with that, but there's also the management costs, the risks associated with having multiple products to build your backup solution. And that often results in finger pointing, where if something goes wrong with your backup solution, you're talking to multiple vendors in relation to trying to resolve that issue. Backup is time consuming. If you're dealing with multiple backup products, troubleshooting is a challenge as well, and backup is expensive and inflexible. So we want to reduce the overhead of managing your backup solutions by pulling together all of the solutions that you may be using to protect your data, regardless of where it resides, into a single interface and a single solution. So your data could reside on the endpoint, it could reside within the SaaS cloud, or it could be on-premise. So you need a solution that is going to bring everything together, give you state-of-the-art security tools as well in the solution, and also be hardened as well against ransomware attacks. So this is essentially our portfolio that covers what we do as a company. We're providing local backups, we're providing off-site protection, we're providing SaaS-based protection as well. Endpoint protection for us is the ability to protect the laptops and desktops which may be roaming, but sending the data directly to the cloud as well. So it is important to protect your endpoints because that's the entry into your infrastructure via through a laptop or through Office 365. Really important to protect your endpoints. Our solution from an on-premise perspective can be consumed as a virtual appliance or physical appliance, and you'll see a slide which talks about our appliances as well. It's really important to have that 3-2-1 rule as well, to be able to create 3 copies of your backup, 2 in different media, 1 copy off-site, which is best practices. So customers should be adhering to best practices in relation to their data protection. And as you can see from this slide as well, we're protecting the SaaS platforms, Google Workspace, 365, and Salesforce. Now, for us, game changers that we offer within our solution is the recovery assurance. As an example, that's the automated DR testing that allows you to certify your backups, and it also gives you the capability to reuse your data. So that basically means your backup solution is not just providing you with backup and recovery. There is the option to use it for test and dev, reporting, use your imagination, rather than having to copy data to a new system to do a monthly report. You can spin up workloads in a controlled environment where you can access them and essentially test your backups or do test and dev. We have a feature called Helix as well, which is designed to remediate known backup problems before they happen. So for Windows endpoints, as an example, or Windows servers, a common error is VSS issues. And administrators often spend a lot of time trying to resolve or troubleshoot issues relating to VSS, which is something we can actually detect very quickly, resolve those issues before the backup starts to ensure the backup runs with success. So this is about ensuring that you've got your recovery points created as part of your strategy. And we have something called zero time wasted with Backup IQ. Backup IQ is designed to alert you if there is any issues with your backup. It allows you to set customer thresholds to bridge the gap between backups failing. It's giving you alerting in a single location for the products, so you've got to so you can find a needle in a haystack. You don't have to go through lots of alerts to find what's important. It's presenting you with what's important. Now, we're going to talk about spanning, or the SaaS platform briefly as well. As you can see here, we are offering spanning for 365, for Google Workspace, and for Salesforce. We are offering a cloud-to-cloud backup service to protect your SaaS platforms, and our data is stored in AWS. It's secure. We provide AES 256 encryption in flight and at rest, and you can actually manage your own encryption keys if need be as well. Simple per user license model. Our solutions are designed to be easy to consume and license. That's kind of key as well. We don't want to have a lot of complexity in relation to licensing. So when you work with Unitrends and spanning, all of the licensing models are very straightforward, no hidden costs. Unlimited storage and retention. That's standard with our solution as well, so you don't have to worry about consumption of storage within the cloud and those overage charges that you may be familiar with when you're actually storing data within the cloud. All of the storage used for Office 365, Google Workspace, and spanning is included in the license model. You can set a retention as well, but as I said before, the retention by default is infinite. So, vendor responsibility, your responsibility. For the SaaS platforms, it's a shared responsibility platform, essentially. Microsoft, as an example, they're responsible for the infrastructure, making the actual application available. You're responsible for the data. So quite often, I come across lots of customers who have been using 365 or Google Workspace or Salesforce, and they've been using it for some time, but they have not had a backup solution in place. And they've come to us because they've suddenly realized that Microsoft doesn't protect their data. It's their responsibility. So that's something that's really important to note and understand. And obviously, we're protecting your data to ensure that you're able to recover from, obviously, human mistakes, programmatic errors, etc. Right, so this is really talking about our solution, how we use the standard protocols that Microsoft would want you to use. We're not using service accounts. You can essentially use 2FA with us as well. But it's really important when you're out in the market looking for a product, you want to make sure that that product is conforming to best practices. They shouldn't be using any elevated privileges, and we don't do so, okay? How our SaaS platform works. Obviously, we're backing up data from the SaaS platform, be it Google Workspace, Salesforce, or 365. We're storing that data in AWS. We have multiple clouds, so we have a cloud in the UK, Dublin, Germany, Australia, Canada, as well as the US. And as I said before, we're storing that data in encrypted format, and you can manage the keys. Now, the added value with us as Unitrends, we do have some built-in features that really differentiate ourselves from other vendors in this space. One of them is dark web monitoring. So when you purchase our Office 365 solution, for example, you have the option to add on dark web monitoring, which is going to go out and find compromised credentials on the dark web, but it's going to make that visible in your spanning for Office 365 interface. We can show you that feature at the booth. But the key thing is that we will present to you essentially where that compromised credential was found, and we'll show you the first 5 characters of that password as well. So as an administrator, you can actually go and speak to Bob and say, Bob, does your password start with A, B, C, D? Are you still using this password? Are you using it anywhere at all? You need to change it, right? So we're presenting and we're tying dark web discoveries with the solution. We're not just providing you with the ability to restore your mail, calendar, contacts, OneDrive, and SharePoint. We're going beyond that. And we consider that aspect of the solution to be called front-end protection. It's an additional security layer. The back-end protection is the data protection itself. How am I doing for time? Couple of minutes. All right. So these are the appliances that we have for the on-premise solution. So we provide the recovery series ranging from 1 terabyte to 120 terabytes of storage. These are great for the data center, and we can stack and rack them and scale out as required to protect your data. We have a Mac series, which is designed for the remote office where you have a comms room. And that remote office could have just physical servers, and you can actually spin up the physical server if it dies on the appliance. So it's giving you that additional availability locally. Obviously, we can replicate that to the cloud, and we provide a white glove service in the cloud for disaster recovery, but we are also offering you with local recovery on the appliance in a remote office or data center. The Ion series, which is a small form factor appliance, allows you to place an appliance in a remote office that doesn't have a comms room because it has a low decibel rating. So our approach is, we got this protect, secure, test, detect, and recovery, recover with instant recovery approach. We feel that when you're looking at a data protection solution, you should look at these 5 things. You should ask your vendor, are you able to protect my solutions or my data or my infrastructure with the 3-2-1 rule, which is basically creating 3 copies of your backup, 2 in different media, 1 copy off-site, using different storage methods. Are you able to, is your solution hardened? So we provide a Linux-based platform, which is not Windows. Very important when it comes to ransomware. Test and recovery, can you test your backups? Can you spin your backups up? Can you verify your backups are good when you send those backups off-site? And do you have AI-based technology built into your solution where you can detect ransomware or encryption in real time? So we have that built into our technology where we're going to notify you if we feel that an asset, which is a server, has been infected by ransomware. We'll notify you so you can be proactive about the remediation of that system. And instant recovery is that quick recovery. So VMware, Hyper-V, we can use or leverage vMotion, storage vMotion, or live migration to recover workloads very quickly and make them available so your services are maintained and kept up and running very quickly. Now this is our, couple more slides, just very quickly. Yeah. This is our platform, cloud platform. We collapse essentially all of that infrastructure on the left-hand side into a single appliance and a single physical appliance in our cloud. We have great operating system support. This is recovery assurance where we can actually automatically test the backups, and it's all done through a workflow. And this is just a quick slide on cyber insurance and how we've been able to help customers basically recover from cyber insurance, from a ransomware attack, and support their cyber insurance claim, because we can actually streamline that recovery process because we have instant recovery, and we're able to allow customers to use third-party tools to test the recovery before they push it into production. Really powerful case study that we have, and we have a DRaaS service which basically allows you to spin up recovery, to use our cloud for disaster recovery if you don't have your own disaster recovery site already. So I'll stop there.